So actually, our dislike of the sea probably comes from. I mean, we both. I have both a fascination. Like I love the sound of the ocean. I grew up with that sound. And when I was in Guelph, it was one thing I missed was being so far away from the ocean. It was the first time in my life I was so far away from the ocean, and yet I have this fear of the ocean and also being seasick at the same time. Put them on boat. Some of them would even jump off the boat and drown right there rather than go. And they would collect them along the coast and bring them to Calcutta and then export them from Calcutta. But the first ship that went to Guyana, Hesperius, did sail from Madras. And we had people in Guyana who were still practicing Madrasi rites and they had Tamils and was their language and stuff. And they can tell from the names like Madramutu and stuff. All the Mutus were from southern India. And my father says that his grandmother was South Indian on the father's side. So when I came to Canada and after I got a research assistantship and stuff, I got that in the second semester. So the summer after, I decided I wanted my come and visit my sister, and everybody was telling me, oh, if you go in for a visa, they'll tell you have to go back to your country to apply for the visas, especially if you're a student. And anyway, so I went in, and whilst we were filling up the forms, there was you had to put in your complexion on the form in those days. Not race, I think it was complexion. So there was this guy who was asking the security guard what complexion he was or something, and I just decided to put black on mine. So when I got called up, it happens that I got called by an African American guy. And so an older guy, I remember him with glasses and stuff, and he was chatting, and I guess he says, oh, well, you're going, that's a very good university. Well, if you're doing agricultural economics, you have a research assistantship and stuff. So this is not like just some ordinary university. Some of these universities where it's a good university, you're in a master, graduate program. So he gave me the visa. So I tell them that if I hadn't put that I was black, they would never have been born, because when later on when I got called for my World Bank interview, if I didn't have that visa, which they gave me for 6 months or whatever, or 9 months, because I came for the interview in February and that was the summer that I came up. Anyway, so because my visa was still valid, so I was able to come in time for the interview. If not, I would have had to go to Toronto and try to get a visa, and I wouldn't have made the interview. So, but that's another story. Anyway, so the summer now, I decided, since I was coming to the things, I was talking it over with my friends. And so my roommate lived in Sarnia, but I think she was at that time in graduate school in London, Ontario. So anyways, I think she came up and drove me to her apartment first. Then we went and visited with her parents who had met before, I think, because I think I'd gone home with her for Thanksgiving, Canadian Thanksgiving. And so I came down to Sarnia to visit her parents, and then she drove me across the border, and from there I took a bus. And my friends in graduate school had told me I was passing through Detroit and telling me how terrible Detroit was. And so I got off the bus, came out the bus station because I had changed buses, and just barely walked to the corner of the block and walked back to say I was in I had stepped out the bus in Detroit. I don't even remember the name of the city across from Sarnia that she drove me across the border, and then I got on the bus. I guess I had to look it up on the map. So I then went to Detroit, Michigan, and from Detroit I took a bus to Fort Wayne, Indiana, where my sister was in university. And I think it was there that we went to this little church in the countryside in the cornfields that was so nice. And the people were very nice and friendly, the Midwest. And yeah, and then I went back on the bus. I don't even remember how I went back. And then I took the train from wherever I went over the border or whatever. And there was this little boy on the train who was talking to me, and he thought we were talking about Indians, and I thought he knew what kind of Indian I was. I said, but, and he was asking me about tribes and stuff. I said, what kind of Indian are you talking about? He says, what kind of Indians are there? Or something like that. And also another time I was in the pool at Guelph, and this lady was talking to me and saying hi and stuff, and then I was talking to her, and then I thought she was my kind of Indian, and she obviously thought I was her kind of Indian, because then she started chatting with me. And then another lady came up that she knew, and then when I think we both realized that we were different kinds of Indians. And usually they would shave the baby's head. It was a 9 day, and they would have a big celebration. People would come, and usually, if it's a boy, they would shave the head completely. If it's a girl, I think they would just cut it, trim it. But I think some of them used to shave the girl's hair too. And they would shave the hair and make a little piece of dough with flour and thing. And maybe this was some ancient thing too, that it would flow back to India or something, I don't know. But they would put the hair in the dough and throw it into the water, into a river. Yeah, your dad and I went to Jefferson Memorial, which was our favorite place in DC, and threw it in the water.